Welcome to Mersol 3.0 tutorials. Today we're going to go over some of the real estate settings. Now this is extremely important, and this is where you need to pay a lot of attention to what I'm saying as far as the tabs are concerned. First is going to log in. Notice I'm already logged in because I clicked the Remember Me, so whenever I come back to the site it remembers me on this computer. We're going to go to Real Estate Settings. A lot of good stuff here. When you're setting your site up, there's a lot of things to think about. And let's go first to the front end so I can explain some of this. In the front of your site, you have your advanced search. City search, subdivision search, all that kind of good stuff right here. You'll see a list of cities, and if you click areas, you'll see a list of areas. Subdivisions, you'll see a list of subdivisions as well. The subdivision list, of course, comes from right here. When you click the tab, it will load them up. We did that intentionally because we wanted to make sure, because so many areas sometimes have a long list of subdivisions. We were trying to keep it as minimal as possible in impact. That's why you can actually just type in like this instead, so it's much quicker. Okay, but these lists can be controlled, and I want to go over that control. First thing, if you click the city tab, these are the controls across the top. Every one of these: cities, areas, subdivisions, zip codes, classes, and statuses. Okay, all these guys right here, okay, are ANDed together. And what I mean by that is if I was to go in here and select Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach and add it to my right-hand column, okay, I can then sort them, and then I can save them. Okay, done. Now I can go back in and do some areas as well. But this is important to note. Let's say I just select Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, but let's say I selected an area in Conway. Okay, that's going to cause a problem, and the reason being is this system doesn't just show, okay, I just saved it, good. The system doesn't just show these cities and areas. It actually is a way of restricting your site to the cities and areas. Notice now it says Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, and the area. It should only say Conway. Now the problem with that is, of course, if I select Conway and do a search on the site, it shouldn't give me any listings. See that? And the reason being is because I have selected cities, Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, but areas is Conway. And the system takes it into account and says, wait a minute, there aren't any listings in the cities of North Myrtle Beach, and the area of Conway, because they're completely different areas. So you have to be very, very careful when selecting these guys here, that you don't create an exclusive issue like that. I have a lot of realtors that will go in and create a list of cities and a list of areas, and then they'll go later and list a house outside of those cities and the areas they selected, and then they'll call me and say, Mark, I just listed the property and it's not showing up. That's why. It's just very important to make sure we understand that we don't do that. Okay, let me go back in and remove the area restriction and just click all. Something else to note. Let's say you don't really like the way we did this list, but you don't want to deal with the exclusion. So you can actually just add all of them to the list, and you can order them your own way. You can just select one and move it up and down the list, however you want to do it. Or you can just sort the whole list and then save it, as long as you have everything over to the right-hand column. Now, do note, MLSs from time to time will change their provider, like from Finis to Flex MLS, stuff like that. When they do that, it is possible they will change the areas and cities. If that happens, you will have to go back in and edit this list. Okay? All right, I'm going to go back and go down here and save. Okay, so we hope we're clear on this. You can restrict your site to cities and statuses and all that kind of good stuff as well. And tell it what statuses you want your site to show only. And like I said, they're all ANDed together, so whatever status, it will only show statuses, these cities and those statuses and areas, etc. Property features are a little different. Property features, these are the features that will show up on your search page. And this is really cool. The way our system is designed, and we put a lot of time and effort into making sure it works properly, is every day when our system pulls the data feed from your MLS, it will actually go out and match features to listings. And if a feature does not match to a listing per class, so this feature to this listing for residential, this feature to this listing for land, etc., per class, if it does not match, our system will mark it for deletion. Now it gives it a good number of months before it will delete it, but it will mark it in order to keep it clean. The reason for that is when you go up and do a search on our system, search for homes, okay, you'll notice that when you select one of these, it will reload the list of features. Stipulation to sell is actually one that's crossed. I mean, that means that it shows stipulation sell is for all classes. But there are certain stipulations that will not show up for certain classes, and our system will remove them when you select different classes if they don't exist. So in other words, if court sale is not in land, for example, then when you go and select land, it wouldn't show up. I believe it is in land, but it's just an example. Okay? So you can see it's still here, but it did adjust the list. See how court sale moved up one? So it's no preferences because something was removed. If I go back and click land, like here, right here, you'll see that auction was removed is what happened because it was able to figure that out. Okay. All right. So enough about features. Let's go back up to finish this up. Okay. So we've got good understanding of this now, I hope. Let's scroll down to the other section here. Let's cancel that. All right, now we're going to go to, as you can see, there's two menu sections here. I know it's a little confusing, but real estate settings has a lot going on here. Next one is the main. Now this is actually your general area for setting up your real estate. This is your default property sort. So when someone does a search on your site, this is how it's going to sort: asking price, descending. And you can change that, of course, if you wish, and change these descending to ascending, etc. All right. This is view listing restrictions. Listing view restrictions. 0 means unlimited. This is the part I was talking about earlier in the registration and intro, where your registration form will pop up. In other words, if you want someone, when they're viewing a listing, after 1 listing, 2 listings, 3 listings, whatever it might be, you can set the number here, and then you can put a custom message in if you wish to override our default message here. And then as soon as they reach that number, it will then, of course, make them register. If you put 0, it's unlimited. And this goes the same thing right here for the property search restrictions page. This is when they're doing searches. Same thing. And the same message. Notice there's a redirect here. What this is when it's time for this box to come up, you can tell it to show the registration page first or the login page. Okay, that's what that's for. Because everyone has their own requirements. A lot of agents might want to say, no, show them the registration page first. No, show them the login page. That's what that's for. Okay? And the same thing here. All right, next tab. Listing detail view. The detail view. Let me take you to a detail view so you know what I'm talking about. Right here, when you look at a property, all the details of a property, this is the listing detail view. This is the URL. Notice this one, particular one, only has the MLS number. Okay, this is the listing detail view for property. This here will allow you to modify the H1 listing tab, title, if you wish. Notice there's some placeholders here, MLS number, etc. You'll notice there's also a title tag. You can modify this. This is for your SEO guys, of course. Your metadata, meta descriptions, and your general. And you can insert right here. If you click this, it will remember that general we showed you earlier. If you click that, it will insert it right here for you. Okay, if you wish to use some of it, because sometimes the SEO guys might want to use parts of it. Down here, your listing detail general settings. This is the layout of that you wish to use for the general settings. Okay, this is the display related to listings right here. Okay, this means, let me show you right here. See how these are related listings? This turns that tab on and off. That's what this does, okay? This is the listing inquiry form phone. This is required form. So when they do an inquiry here, when your clients click on inquiry, where's it at? More info. It pops up a box. See how phone's required there? You can go in here and uncheck that and it will not make phone required. Okay, and this is the content above and below a listing. You can put content above and below. A lot of agents will put like a call to action of a call me now button or something like that. You can do it above and below a listing. Okay, that's what that's for. Okay, right there. And then you can update it, aka save. Your mortgage calculator. These are the default settings for the mortgage calculator. That's all that is. This is the featured listings. This is how you want your featured listings to show up. Every site with Mersal has a featured listings page. And you can find that page by going to your site map at the bottom left. Usually there's a site map here. If that link doesn't exist because you might have a custom layout, you can always just go to your site, domain /sitemap.html, and it'll take you to the sitemap. Okay, and you will see the right here. See, it says Marisol Quick Start featured listings. This is the featured listing, which this one doesn't have any, of course, because there's no agent for this one. But you can actually set up Office or agents. And if you set up agents, then you can actually select what agents you want it to show. That's how that works. You can just say which ones you want. So you can pick and choose. We can add multiple offices. If you wish us to add multiple offices, just let us know. Okay? So anyway, after the featured listings, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.